Welcome.
Not used to talking on camera. We're going to be posting a lot more on here. We want to show you and let you in more in our lives. We thought that this would be a great way to do it.
I feel like everyone gets those, not highlight reels, but they get the bits and pieces kind of from, TikTok and Instagram, and people have flooded our DMs with questions that we want to be able to answer a lot more questions for you and have more of an in-depth look on our life if you're interested. If you're not,
Scroll on by.
see ya.
To start it off, we're going to do a little Q&A. We asked you guys on Instagram.
Yeah, for those of you who are new here, which is probably going to be quite a few of you, the OG followers, we appreciate it.
Welcome back. Everyone wants to know.
Oh boy.
Do you guys live in Minnesota or do you guys live in Florida?
We live in both. I feel like that's very hard for our age people and younger to comprehend, but we are essentially very young snowbirds. So we live in Florida in the wintertime, Minnesota in the summertime. We are currently Florida residents. We typically spend 7 months of the year there. We take a couple weeks,
yeah.
But it's more than 6 months in a day, so we have that Florida residency. We're originally from Minnesota, so we love to get back and see family and friends, and a lot of our friends and family have been having babies about the same age as Raina.
Honestly, we have that in both places.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Which is nice. It's like all of our friends in Florida have babies, and then all of our friends here have babies, so we kind of get best of both worlds. We get the winters there with them, and then the summers here. I honestly was the one to initiate the move. DJ's mom moved down it's been like 10 years now. And so we were like back and forth all the time visiting her, and then my family was in the Keys, and so I was like, let's just try it. We both didn't have jobs that were keeping us in Minnesota. Like, let's just go. I think we had like 15 days straight.
It was a full month.
Okay, yeah.
It was 32 straight days of
negative degree weather here,
yeah.
and it was like, that is it. We are out. There's no question.
It was February.
You have no choice, but we're going. Yeah, he didn't even see the apartment until we moved in.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was the best decision ever.
Best suburbs to raise a family in Minnesota. I may be moving there is the question. The other one was, what suburb area of the Twin Cities are you in? I don't want to say where we live. We grew up in Eden Prairie, western suburbs of Minneapolis.
Yeah, we both went to Eden Prairie. Grew up there, loved it so much. It's changing a little bit, but still just such a great area. We love Eden Prairie, we love Minnetonka.
Yeah.
We love Wayzata.
West side suburb people. East side's also great, like Woodbury and Stillwater. Stunning out there as well.
There's so many good areas. Laconia is starting to become more popular. It's so beautiful out there. Victoria. Baby number 2.
Not within a year for sure. So she also is a horrible sleeper. So for us, it's very draining at the moment. You didn't have a very easy pregnancy.
It's really hard.
Just very, very hard on her. So to have her go through that again, I think would be pretty traumatizing.
Honestly, I would say we would start trying in a year if he could take a turn, because pregnancy was so hard on me, and I kind of had a feeling this was going to be my experience just because my mom had similar experiences I did. I was just so sick. I was basically sleeping in the bathroom until 22 weeks. I could have said I was one of those people that loved being pregnant, but that just wasn't the case. Just battled through. We would go places and I just puke and
get sick on the way.
I get sick in the car or get sick on the side of the road, and we just move on with our day. But it was brutal.
Baby number 2 eventually, yes, but not
for a while.
This is a good one. What's the secret to a good relationship?
Typical answer is communication, but it is so true. It's just be open and honest with how you're feeling when you're feeling it, because otherwise it can just blow up in a completely different way, and it just is unnecessary, I feel like, at that point.
My answer is going to be a little bit different, only because we might be a little bit different than probably a lot of relationships or couples out there, because we work together, live together. I mean, we are together
all the time.
All the time. Constantly being together. Just understand the other person still needs to have a life as well. And she does a fantastic job too. Hey, babe, I'm going to go play golf today. Okay, sounds great. It's obviously a little bit different with the baby. Knowing that you have to have your own life, but still continue to date through it. We go on a date night. Honestly, it doesn't seem like a lot, but we go out to dinner and like
Yeah.
have a cute date scene night or whatever. Now Raina comes with all the time, but that's still like a date night, I consider.
Yeah,
right?
like when we go out
I mean,
on
like once a
date
week.
night, it's our whole family, like
Yeah.
us three,
Yeah.
and sometimes Ranger.
That doesn't mean your life is one. You have
Yeah.
two separate lives that you like live together,
That
but they
mesh
have to
well,
like
but,
go like
yeah.
this, and you have to each have your own life because
Mhm.
we see it too many times where just some person tries to change too much, or they're not happy and they don't have anything going on, or are too scared to ask for something going on, or too scared to like do something without the other person. Like you can't.
That's
do
normal
that.
and that's okay. It's like we're all humans. Like you still
Yeah.
need to be able to do your separate things, but then come back together at the end of the day, and then you can talk about them.
And understanding that her saying, "Hey, I need some time or space," doesn't mean that she's mad at me. Vice versa. It just means like I just want to go and like, whether it's mow the lawn or whether it's I just did that. That's what came to my mind. But take time for yourselves within the relationship.
Yeah. Any unexpected changes after having a baby, like losing friendships, etc.
I mean, if anything, our friendships got stronger. But like so many of our friends just happened to be on the same time wave as us. So
And
that's been amazing because
I honestly think like that has been the best thing is not planning your life with your friends and like being on the same time frame, but having that truly helps so much because they can relate the same things you're going through and you can ask each other questions. So I feel like all of those relationships did get stronger.
The other night when we did like a big meet up at the park and like all the dads are together with the babies and the moms, it's like something cool to do. But even like friends were there that didn't have babies, and they're some of the best people with babies, which is cool to see too, because down in Florida we have a couple that are always hanging out with us, and Doug and Keely, name dropping you guys, but Keely's like the most amazing person with Raina and our other friend Kelly and Dan's son Jack, and then Doug, you're amazing as well. But like it's like you have and that's just one example of many friends that we have that also don't have babies. They're just like
I feel like we're just very fortunate to have that. Obviously not everyone does.
Yeah.
But like all of our friends have just been so great. It's like you hear those stories. It's like, oh, you don't hang out with those friends anymore because like we have a baby and they don't really want to, do that type of stuff that you do now. I feel like when you grow up, friendships come and go regardless. And I think as you get older, your friends groups get smaller.
Yeah.
But like those people are like your people.
That's not dissing friends that like are on our outering of friends or anything, but it's just like you just happen to get closer to those people. If you have any type of friendship that's not getting stronger over time or that's weighing you down, like maybe they shouldn't be your friend.
Yeah. And then at that point it's like maybe it's a good thing that this is happening because then you can just distance yourself and do your own thing anyway. Yeah. Another long answer, but
the long answers are kind of fun.
I know.
What made you choose me as your husband / how did we meet?
We can kind of keep this story short because it is long. We grew up in the same area. We knew of each other, but he was 2 years older, and one of his best friends' sister was my best friend. So we would always cross paths, and sometimes we'd be at the same house, but like we would never converse. Like we knew of each other. And then he went to college. And then my freshman year of college, his junior year of college, I went to go visit one of my best friends at Iowa State, where he went. And he was having a little house pregame. And she's like, do you want to go to DJ Thoma's? At the time, I was like, why? Like, I mean, yeah, we can. I was like, sure, whatever, let's do it. I wasn't expecting anything of it at all. And
not me either. I mean, it was not uncommon for your friends to come over and like pregame though.
Yeah.
Or like that friend group of,
but
before the bars or whatever.
Me saying why wasn't bad. It was just like, it was random. I was like, okay, like whatever. We hugged and talked a little bit. We were like out in the hallway taking pictures like typical girls do. And you came out and you're like, are you guys gonna like come in? I like looked at my friend and I was like, yeah, but like I really need a drink. And so she's like, just ask him for a beer, like whatever. So we walk in and we start talking. I'm like, can I have a beer? And so I think you gave me like a bush.
No, it was
Do you remember
it was like the Minnesota edition of McGolden Light. It was like the gold and silver can, like the Minnesota like boating edition of it. I remember it perfectly.
Yeah, we like talked for maybe like 2 more minutes, and then all my friends were like, "We're going to a different party." It's like, okay, well, can I get your number? So I like type it in like super fast.
Yeah, incredibly fast.
And DJ's like, "Oh, she for sure just gave me a fake number," and then we left. And I think like by the time we like got out of your apartment, we were out on the street. You had texted me. And you were like, hey, thanks for coming. Like, let me know what you guys are going to do later or something.
Yeah. I was just making sure the number worked.
Yeah. And I was like... So
I was waiting for that number to come back like green.
No, I just typed it in really fast. And ever since then, we were just talking. And like 2 weeks later, you were driving through St. Cloud where I went to school. And we went and got dinner. And then the rest was kind of history. Side note, we actually grew up 5 houses down from each other in Eden Prairie and never met.
Our parents like obviously recognize the names just from the neighborhood, like last names. Goes to show
so crazy.
Yeah, how like your lives like can be right here the whole time, then all of a sudden they don't pass till
later on.
Next question was, why did you choose me? Because I checked all the boxes.
Yeah, of course. I remember your mom asking me this in the car when we were engaged and we were looking at wedding venues when we were in the Keys. But like she randomly like looked at me and she's like, why DJ? And it completely caught me off guard. Did I ever tell you this? My first answer was like, because you're like my best friend. Like we just have so much fun together and it's just easy. Like, and it always was easy. Everything we did, even like going to the grocery store, like we had fun doing it. It sounds like so silly, but it's like all the simple moments were fun and like you don't get that a lot. And I just love you.
Good question. I love you.
Okay, next.
How tall are you? I'm 5'11". I'm not quite 6 feet tall, unfortunately.
So you just ask your own question. I'm going to ask one of mine.
Okay.
Someone said, might be too personal, but are you still pumping or breastfeeding?
Yeah.
Weaning.
Wiener.
This is a good topic because I feel like not many people talk about breastfeeding, pumping as much as they should. I think like everyone has just such a different experience with it, so it's kind of hard to say. But for me personally, you know, Raina, she latched pretty good at first, but her like breastfeeding wasn't great. Just pulled away a lot, and it was just kind of too overwhelming for me. I didn't love it as much as I thought I was going to. I started pumping, and that worked great for a while. But I got so exhausted with it. After a few months, I was like, I'm so checked out.
Yeah, you did it for like 6 months, though.
It was so long. Like, exclusively pumping is hard, and it's a full-time job. And I just felt like I was constantly plugged in. And
people, like, I saw one of the things in there, this is going off that. People are like, how'd you lose so much weight right after? What's your workout routine? Okay, I'm sorry, but you didn't really work out much after.
I haven't.
But that's how draining the breastfeeding is, and it's taking such a toll. Like I see from my perspective, it took such a toll on her physical body that, like, yeah, you might say, oh, that's a great thing, I lost all the baby weight, but like, it's actually dropped you down even further below than you were before. Which, if that's where you want to be, I don't whatever your thing is, but.
And it's so true, but like I said, it's like everybody's body reacts so differently. So just because like that made me lose all my baby weight doesn't mean it's gonna make someone else. But like that's just how my body reacted, and I think part of it was just like I was also just drained. Like I was physically drained. That like everything just felt like it was sucking the life out of me.
Well, it literally was.
Yeah, it was. And so I lasted for exclusively pumping like 6 months. And it was hard. It was
well,
so
and then you
hard.
gave it up, and you were like, felt almost guilty giving it up because, but it was just to the point where you couldn't take it anymore.
It was time. It was like affecting my mental health. Like, it would be like we'd be sitting on the couch at 10, and all I wanted to do was just go to bed, and I'd have to put those freaking pumps on, and all I could hear, we're just trying to watch TV, and I'm like trying to keep my eyes open because I'm so tired, and it's just like, it was too much. Like going out to dinner, and then having to like leave and go pump quick and fill it up and then wash those stupid pumps, like it was a lot. And like props to all the moms that just exclusively pump, because it's time consuming, it's draining.
Thank God for portable pumps. Imagine like not. I mean, back in the day when you couldn't do that.
I know.
You could be out and about or in the car, like yeah. No, hand expression.
But anyway, long story short, I stopped at like
6 months.
6 months, and at first it was hard, but I do feel so much better, so I'm glad I stopped. And now we're on Bobby formula, and it's going great.
Yeah. Would you guys ever do a meet and greet? We would co-sponsor like an event if like a company
with like
reached
a brand
out,
or something.
which we've done. Did one like with Nature Made the other month where it was like their pickleball thing and they're in saying hi to people and like kind of just being around.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, probably not like just us, just to like have a meet and greet.
No, I just feel like no one would come. How I describe it is like when people say, "Oh, you have such a big following." It's like, yes, we post on social media, and yes, we may have a bigger following than some people, but it's like everyone can post on social media. That's kind of how I describe it. We're just regular people that post on social media too, and that's really it. Like we just have a normal life.
We're not like a celebrity by any means.
No.
And I mean, you do go into like coffee and every once in a while, I'm like, hey, I love your TikToks. Like, yeah, that's cool. I love that. And then like, if you do see us out, like, come and introduce yourself. Like, come say hi. We do love that. But
yeah, it's fun to meet new people. It honestly, we've met a lot of people just by someone coming up and being like, oh my God, I watch your videos, and then we get talking, and then we turn out to be friends.
Yeah.
You know.
That's happened a couple times.
Like, do you guys like Florida or Minnesota better? Okay, I think we're gonna have two completely different answers here.
Yeah. We're both going to say somewhere different.
I love Florida so much. I could probably live there full time and visit Minnesota a few times in the summer. And that would be like perfect for me. I think like visiting Minnesota for like a month or two in the summer would be enough. Him, on the other hand.
I mean, I love Florida and I love Minnesota, but I would be fine living in Minnesota for 7 months of the year and then Florida for 5. But for me, it's not like the people or like what Florida has to offer, because I love everything about Florida more than Minnesota besides the heat. And sometimes it's so dang hot down there. And when I get hot, I get cranky. And now this would probably change if we still like, so we had a boat down there. And for a while, and then when we found out Jack was pregnant, then we sold the boat and didn't have it last year. And so we did agree that we could get a boat when the time is right in the near future, hopefully. And so like that changes the game, because like I also, it's like it comes with like things that I do. Like I like to hunt and fish, and I like to be outside and outdoors. You know, deer hunting, duck hunting, turkey hunting, doing those things. I don't do down in Florida. I don't have the people to really do it with, or the land to do it where I do up in Minnesota. And so at first when we moved down, I would just like fly home and do those things. Now it's different with the baby. If I don't have any siblings, but I'm closest with like all of my cousins. And so for me, when I'm in Minnesota, like they're my brothers or sisters, and they visit in Florida too, but it's a little bit different. Where your sister lives out in LA. Your parents are obviously here, but your parents are down there. You have more friends than me. You have very close friends here and very close friends there. Yeah. And so like you never skip a beat either way. Where I'm at, I have like a couple really good friends in Florida, but then like most of my friends are in Minnesota. For me, it's really hard to be away from people. Compromised. And we pretty much do a 50-50 split. And if ever that gets too hard, then we'll figure it out. You don't like dislike being here when we're here, and I don't really, like dislike being there.
No, yeah, I think we both love both places.
Yeah,
and I do love it here in the summer. But if I had it my way, I would sell this house. I love this house, but I would sell this house, and I would buy more of our house in Florida, and then in the summertime, we'd bounce around from cabins and maybe have eventually our smaller place here, because on weekends we're always at the lake or at the cabin. I feel like to have more of our permanent house in Florida would make more sense. The rent, first of all, renting there in the winter is so expensive.
Yeah, it up really quick, and it was the right time, it was the right everything. And
I don't regret doing anything we did here.
We'll never be in Minnesota full time.
No.
Again, I mean, that's not happening.
Wait, we need to pause. Okay, we're back. We had a meeting that we completely forgot about, but we're just gonna kind of finish this up.
Yeah.
We're excited to get back on YouTube, because now that we can do it together, it's more fun.
We're gonna attempt to do a video a week, maybe a couple more.
Yeah,
maybe
if we're feeling inspired.
And have the time. Obviously, with the baby, but guaranteed. Guaranteed, we're holding to it once a week. It'll be a mix of things too. I mean, it's not gonna be sit down like this.
Chat with us every week.
Places incorporating our normal things that we do on a whether it's a normal Tuesday night or a weekend at the cabin.
We're gonna kind of do everything.
Whatever you guys want to see, like put it in the comments, because it may be something different than what we're thinking.
Thanks for watching. If you watched all the way to the end.
Yep.
And you'll see a lot more of us coming soon.
That was so weird. Bye.